Let's see if people find us. Okay, we are live.
Hello.
We're just going to be in a little bit of a different place than we normally are.
And let's get this out.
Hopefully people can find us. All right.
Get this out.
Oopsie. Okay, so what a rough start tonight. And I'm sorry about the rough start. But it looks like Christine found us and Safa and Juan. So we've got some of our peeps with us, which is great.
Yes.
Yay. All right. So our topic tonight, Rhea.
Well, before I let me just type in a question here, and I want to let everyone know. Sorry, I just have my little tablet here.
Okay.
And it's taking me a while to figure out how to spell the word "you." Okay, all
Hey,
right.
Safa. We're happy you made it too, and you just landed
Hi.
an hour ago. Did you land home
Yeah, where are you?
or did you land somewhere else? Okay. Well, I can't.
Well, I am. I have a slightly. Oh no! Before I even get to the topic today, so I want to just announce to everyone, if you don't already know, we are on YouTube. We have our own channel. We have our own channel. We have our own channel. So and it won't be any surprise. And if you go in and enter a search and just enter "tune in," in enter Laura Rhea, it will pop up. So it's a process of loading. So, there's no mass loading of all of the videos. So I think there are like 6 or 7 of them up there now. So by all means, I'm sort of loading backwards. So, the most recent go in first, but please take a moment, go out there, look at, view some of the videos and let us know which are your favorites. Please add your comments. Please add your questions. Please subscribe. I think I'm supposed to say that now. You subscribe, and you want to click on that little bell so that you'll know when we add our next video. But usually, you always know we do our videos here first. We premiere. That's a new word for us too. Premiere our videos here on YouTube, on Facebook, and then I transfer them or upload them to YouTube. But we thank you for your support. Thank you for your continuing interest. This gives us an opportunity to help a whole other group of people tune in as well. So be willing to share. Don't hold back. Be willing to share, and be willing to share the videos with others too. So thank you again. Okay, Laura.
Safa is asking if you could share the link.
I will do that. So our topic for today is a little different. Where, quite often when you know what, I was going to say, quite often we talk a lot. Well, all right, we always talk a lot. So I think you and I could spend an hour and a half talking about spoons. Okay, so so I'm not going to preface it by saying, oh, we're not going to talk that much about it, but I do want to talk just a little bit about inspirations. Now, I want to say one thing. I don't mean inspiration in the sense that you or I'm not one to believe really that I have to wait for inspiration or wait for motivation to start something, because I've said before that I believe, they are motivation. Sometimes for me, it's like the late bus. Okay, it just it doesn't show up on time, and and I need to just start walking and then let the bus catch up to me. So, and if you live in New York, you know what that means. But I can't always sit and wait for the feeling to come upon me. But even bigger than that, there are things all around us that inspire us, and it could be a character on a TV show or a movie or something you've read in a book, a character in a book, books from our childhood, even. There are so many things, and as you're on this journey, I feel like I'm more open to recognizing lessons that I would not have seen before.
Mm.
So I'll start because there was a movie that I was watching. Oh gosh, it was either late last night or early this morning, that I have seen 100 times, and it affects me the same way every single time. Where I feel so emotional and so inspired, and also just so very grateful, and that is the movie Working Girl. I love
Mm.
that movie.
Wait, is that with Dolly Parton?
No, no, no.
Wait,
That's
what?
9 to 5.
Oh,
Working Girl. Working Girl is with Melanie Griffith, where she's the young woman who lives on Staten Island, and she
oh,
works for an
yeah.
investment bank, and she's trying to make it. And Sigourney Weaver is her boss, and she ends up working for Sigourney Weaver, and Sigourney Weaver's like, oh yeah, two-way street, come up with ideas. Sigourney Weaver steals her idea and tries to tries to do something with it, tries to build a deal, and I love it because not because it's a story of someone who kind of commits a fraud, but not that. But I love that this is a character, this is a person who had a dream, who had a strong desire for her life to change,
Mm.
and she did it. And she did it against all odds. She didn't have a lot of support. She had to get out there and figure out how to make things happen a different way. She didn't follow all of the traditional thing. She worked in a place where the people who got the best jobs went to the Ivy League schools, and she went to City College. And so, how do you make things happen?
Mm.
And she talks about, I went to school at night. It took me X number of years, but I got my degree and I got it with honors. So
Yeah.
it's an inspiring story for me. And in the very end, to see her uh, be able to step into part of what was her dream, step out of the role of administrative assistant or still secretary at that point, and into a place where she ended up having her own
Yeah.
secretary, and then see
Wow.
her treat that woman in the way that she wished that she had been treated
Mm.
for so many years.
I
It
don't
is
know if I saw
just
that.
it
Christine saw
is
it. She said she didn't give up.
No, she did not give up. She didn't. She could have. She had the rug pulled out from under her at one point. I mean, this is a movie, so you got the story arc, and there has to be something that happens that grabs you. So yeah, there was an arc, and there was a moment where you thought, oh my goodness, is she going to recover from this? And of course she did. And that story just means so much to me. If for no other reason, that was one of the movies I remember seeing where I said, I want to live in New York.
Mm.
I want to live in New York. I don't know how I'll get there. Hey, she was a secretary. I can be a secretary too. I can type. You know, I want to get to New York,
Wow.
and at the end, to feel like, to a great degree, I'm living out my dream. I have a sense of gratitude at the end of that movie. So that's one of my loves. That is one of my loves.
I have to
Yes.
look into that. It sounds familiar, but I can't recall it.
Oh yeah, it was.
I have
It
to
had
find that.
Harrison Ford in it, and
Wow. Okay.
yeah, that was a good.
I will find it for sure. So
Yeah.
does that give you that gave you inspiration? Is that what you're
Oh yeah, that inspired me then, inspires me now, and just it just brings me to a point of gratitude now
mm,
too. And different people have different things that mean something to them. I mean, there are other movies too that inspire me, and that one just is like keep going, keep going.
yeah.
She didn't give up, keep going,
So is
and
that what it
and
inspires you to do? Like that's what you get from that is not to give up.
that's right.
Mm.
That's absolutely right. Just don't give up, and recognize that you don't have to be like everyone else.
Oh,
You
please
know,
don't.
she understood that there had to be that she had to make some changes. Now that's something too. When she made some changes within herself, within her own development, things around her changed,
Hmm.
and that can be very scary. It can be scary for the people around us too, because that's what happened. That she had friends, and her no good boyfriend, played by Alec Baldwin, uh, around her, who had a difficult time adjusting to the new person that she had become.
Wow.
But yeah, there are so many lessons, great lessons, in that wonderful little movie.
Hmm. Great.
And what about you? Anything come to mind for you? A book, a movie, a TV show,
Um,
or just another person?
yeah, I mean, I love music. I get inspiration sometimes from music,
Hmm.
um, from reading for sure. You know, whether it's a book or even an inspirational message of any kind. You know, I can really feel a lot through words.
Hmm.
Um, Definitely there are movies. I mean, there's so many ways to be inspired, I feel like. I mean, I think inspiration's all around us. We just have to tune into it.
I believe that too.
You know, like just being outside. Today I came home, um, I don't know, one of those days, and I took my
Hmm.
dog and just went for a walk. I let everything go that I was supposed to do as soon as I got home, and just doing that, that inspired me.
Yes. Yeah, and actually that is that picks up on what we were talking about last week. We were talking about had a bad day, and how to recover from that. So yes,
Yeah.
that is great.
But I think people, I don't know if people are visual people, then inspiration could be seen. If they're more feeling, then you know what I mean, then it could be felt. It's
Hmm.
sensory. Sometimes you could be inspired just by being at the beach or being in the sun.
Hmm.
But the idea is, I guess, at least for me, is to be tuned into the inspiration because I think if we're not, we're going to miss it.
Yeah, yeah. I certainly you and you can, and one of the things something I think about is you can see a movie, you know, one time and then see it another time and say, wow, that
Right?
it can affect you in a very different way. And this is not an inspiration. Of course, it's not limited to movies. There's inspiration all around us. There are people who inspire us, and not just people who are older than us.
Oh, no.
Sometimes we are inspired by the iron will and the focus of children, and their absolute honesty and joy. I had the most wonderful opportunity on this past Saturday. I told you about that. We went to a place upstate called Kelder's Farm in Ulster County. If you ever have an opportunity to go there, absolutely do it. But while we were there, we took busload church. sponsored the trip, so it was a busload of kids and adults, and we picked apples, we
Oh,
picked pumpkins, we they fed they had a little petting zoo, they had a
mm,
jumping pillow, uh, and it was just out there in I think the Catskills, you're out in the
mhm,
near the Catskills. So you see the beautiful trees, the beautiful
mhm,
scenery. You breathe in this air that doesn't smell like yesterday's garbage. If
mhm,
you live in the city, you're accustomed to that, and and it was just a wonderful, wonderful experience to be able to for kids to see that apples don't just come out of the grocery store in that big old mound that's in the produce section. They actually came off of a tree, and you can pick your own right off and select the one that you want. And the kids were not afraid of the animals.
mm,
They jumped right into the pumpkin patch. It was the adults who were crying about are there snakes, are there snakes. The
mm,
kids were just jumping in and grabbing
yeah,
pumpkins, and so that level of joy just inspired me to because there was one kid in particular who was so intentional about this. He'd been waiting for this day for like more than a month, and he had plans on what he was going to do. He knew he was going to enjoy himself, and guess what he did?
yeah. Oh, I think students are very inspiring.
Yes, they
I
are.
love that. But so we have some comments and weigh in on
Yes.
what inspires you. What kinds of things inspire you? What makes you feel inspired? So Crystal's here. Hey, Crystal.
Hey, Crystal, Crystal.
Um, so Safa says we never give up. We're all individually and uniquely beautiful. What inspires me is how each one I meet is unique books, music, um, and a tree, and above
Mm-hmm.
all, a cloud. One of the movies that inspires me is the Disney movie Up. I
Up.
cry every time I watch it. That's beautiful. And I see, I love that too. I love how different people are, and I think also like, becoming a disc consultant, and Rhea and I are both trained in that. It really helps you to understand how different people are, but appreciate the differences.
Mm-hmm.
You know, so Donna says, I was inspired by my youngest grandson who
Mm-hmm.
lived a short life, but during his life, he touched so many people with his unconditional, soulful spirit. He was open to everyone and touched more souls than he could ever possibly know. Oh,
Oh my. Mm.
and you know what, Donna? That's what angels do.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And that is inspiring.
Yeah,
That lets us know that we have the opportunity to experience that too. Not just that he inspired us, but we have the opportunity to become the same way and inspire others.
yeah.
So yes,
And
and and
one of the
mhm,
things I just want to, and I touched on it before, but tune yourself in to being inspired.
mhm.
Because if you're not, if you're tuned into a frequency that's really low and maybe a little negative, or just it's a different vibration inspiration. And so, try to be tuned into it because it could be missed.
Well, and set that as your intention.
Hmm.
I want to be inspired. I want to be open to seeing, hearing, and feeling the inspiration, and and things will pop up when you least expect them. I mean, today I had. Today everyone was very talkative. Today I had a doctor's appointment, and I mean all every stage of the way. You know, and even including my doctor was just very talkative today. But on the way home, I decided to take a little Lyft car home, and the driver was talking to me about his choice in moving to the United States, and what he had to do, and how, how he came alone, and I found it so interesting and so inspired, and he was just so still so excited,
Mm,
and I thought it was a lovely conversation, and that level of bravery, you
mm,
know,
yeah,
inspires me. So
yeah.
yeah, it's all around us. It is all around us.
Right. So what inspires you? Because, the truth is we never know, right? We never know how long we're going to be here. So,
Hmm.
um, to inspire other people for the time that we're here, whether it's a short time, whether it's a long time, to just even make that an intention, when you wake up
Yes.
in the morning, to be that person that inspires others, and then to look for inspiration so that you don't miss it. Oh, Safa
Hmm.
just took the words out of my mouth, like right this second. She said, it's energy. We attract who we are. Sometimes we need to be reminded
Yes, we
and
do.
just pause and reflect to realize everything around us. It's never about us. Okay, Safa, we are like on the same wavelength, because that was my next thing was I was going to say it's energy, and so to be tuned into that energy is really important, because
Mhm.
there are people, and people, there are people that are inspirational, and there are people that are the complete opposite
Ah.
of inspirational. Let's be real.
Or they inspire you in a different way.
Yeah.
But yeah, yeah, and there absolutely are, and it is, and I think the word intention and intentional, it's just, it's so important. I want to help others. You and I have set the intention to help others come
Mm,
into their own and live ridiculously amazing lives, and there's a song, that includes a line, "Make me a blessing while I have a chance, because I'll never
mm,
pass this way again."
mm.
And that's and absolutely, that is my prayer, that
Yes,
despite, you know whatever, whatever negative talk I've ever, whatever negative job I've done on myself, I will, rise above that and still bless others. Or, I heard someone say, we're grateful because God will help us take our mess and make a message out of it. And that is just a wonderful thing, because there's always someone who needs to hear that.
yes,
There's someone out there who needs to hear that. So
yeah,
this is great, great, great stuff.
yeah, yeah. So, that's a choice, though, that we get to make, to whether we want to be inspiring or
Yes.
be inspired, right?
Yes.
So that's important. And when you want to live that ridiculously amazing life, a lot of it is about inspiration,
Yes.
right? So if
And
you're catching the replay on this, weigh in. Christine, how are you inspired, and how do you inspire? Crystal, how are you inspired? Those that are even catching the replay, let us know. Karen, Bernice, how are you inspired?
absolutely. And if any of my family members are catching the replay, let me know. Just weigh in. Just say hello. But and for all friends, all family. Yes. How are you inspired, and how are you inspiring others? And the one of the things about inspiration is, it's not comparison. You're not saying, oh, what is this? Some people will say things like, what does this person have that I don't have? I mean, that's not what this is about.
Mm-mm.
It is, what you said, the energy. What
Mhm.
energy am I getting from that person, and how does that propel me forward? How does that nourish me? How does that help me to move along? So yes, yes, yes.
So Christine just made a comment, but I'm something's going on. I'm not getting the comments on here, but Christine's comment says she said I'm an inspirational quote junkie.
I love that.
So she likes the quotes. Yes.
Yeah.
And some of them are amazing. Like I have to say, I like that too. I really
Mhm.
do. I like those. And Safa says, I was away a few days for work. Wait, hold on. I was away a few days for work, and there is a young lady at a restaurant in the building where the head office was. I
Mhm.
saw her this past weekend. I remember her from last year, and she said to me, "Oh, I remember you. You talked very nice to me. People matter, and every single thing matters.
Mm.
People might forget what we say, but they'll always remember how you made them feel."
And feel. That's right.
That is so true. So true. Oh, now they're coming up. I guess it was just a little bit of a delay. Um, Safa, that is so true. People do remember how you make them feel.
That's
I
right.
can I can certainly vouch for that 100 times over. Not only other people that have remembered me, but
Hmm.
even me. How I remember people,
Hmm.
they made me feel a certain way.
And I don't mean just in recent history. I mean, you can think back to years ago where someone said or did something that made a difference, and it could have been for them just a small act, but it made you feel good about yourself, or about something else that was just happening. Sometimes we we think that people don't see us, or we think that people uh, don't care.
Yeah.
And it's wonderful when someone lets you know without you having to ask them if they care.
Yeah.
But when someone just lets you know that they really care about you, or they appreciate you, and something that you've done, that's always a nice thing. And I appreciate this group of men and women who are here with us today. I appreciate you, Laura, because it makes a difference in my life,
Mm.
and inspires me to, first of all, it inspires both of us to do this every
Right.
week,
Right.
and not, no formality, no fanfare. It is just plain, simple conversation from the heart,
Yeah.
and
And
we're grateful
every
to do
day.
that.
And every
Hmm.
day you get to be an inspiration if
That's
you
right.
so choose. So Christine says, I get inspired by great energy. I'm very intuitive. So when someone has great energy, I feel it. The same with those
Mm-hmm.
that are lacking it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and yeah, I can say that. Christine is very intuitive. But we feel energy. I mean, we're made to feel it, and sometimes we repel it. Sometimes we're not on the same frequency as it, but
Mm-hmm.
then other times it's so in sync. And Safa says authenticity.
Very important.
Yeah, yeah, because you can feel that too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Very important.
yeah,
I and you're drawn to those people, just like you said, someone where you're on the same frequency.
hmm,
Uh, you're drawn to them, and sometimes you don't even know why. And
yes,
and then you start having conversation, or you relating to one another, and it's great when you have those people in your lives as long-term relationships. I'm blessed to be around a group of women in particular that I have that connection with.
yeah,
So
that's
great
your
to have a wonderful. I got to give a plug to my husband. great to have a husband with whom I'm connected. So,
Mhm.
so
Mhm.
absolutely. Mhm.
Yeah.
But yes, we wanted just to spend this short time. It, it always feels like, I don't know, like 5 minutes by the time we get through the half hour. And up front we always think, oh, we're going to talk 30 minutes about 30 minutes. We can talk 30 minutes about that. But we always seem to make it. But we thank each and every one who is with us now live and also who's watching the replay. Again, we want your comments. If you have topics that you want us to cover, we are open to that.
Yes, I mean,
And
Rhea and I pick topics based on just our lives. So,
that's right.
if you give it some thought, what would you like to weigh in on? What would you like to talk about?
Mm-hmm.
Safa
Mm-hmm.
says, you both are every week consistent, authentic, and extremely real. I appreciate you so much. Oh, both
Oh,
of you
thank
so much.
you.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Safa. And we appreciate you and
Absolutely.
all that you contribute to. Oh, Safa is reminding you of something, Rhea, that you didn't mention.
Oh, oh,
Journaling, Rhea.
I didn't say, oh, I didn't do
You
my
didn't do
plug.
your commercial.
So I'll do a double journal plug today. I have a journal that's just for notes from a certain a certain group, and then my regular journal. But journaling, you know, uh, take the time. I mean, certainly we want to hear from you, but you should hear from yourself.
Yes,
Take the time. Ask yourself that question: what inspires me?
right.
And write out your answer, and you might surprise yourself when you think through, pull through some thoughts you didn't even know you had. So journaling is great. Thank you, Safa, for the
Yeah.
reminder.
No, but it's true. I mean, inspiration comes from wherever you
Mhm.
believe it comes from, but it is everywhere. So I'm just saying to
Mhm.
be in tune with it, and you will see that it doesn't take much to inspire if
That's
you're in
right.
tune with it. So thank you all for being here tonight. And yes,
Yeah.
please let us know topics. And we wish you a ridiculously amazing week. The weather here in New York is great.
Ooh,
Did I
yes.
freeze? Okay.
Yeah, you got a little bouncy there at the end, but okay.
Okay.
All right. Well, thank you. Love you, Laura. See you
Love you.
soon.
Yes, very soon.
Okay. All
Soon.
right.
Okay. Bye bye.
Bye. Bye, everyone. Have a great